Continuing the entry of Hilul, praise. He says the person has to give praise to Hashem for everything in his life. Many great Dolim, they used to walk into a room, thank you Hashem for the chair, thank you Hashem for the table, thank you Hashem for electricity, thank you Hashem for my clothes, thank you Hashem that I have money. Every single thing a person should be thankful for and speak it out. That way he appreciates. A person can sit in his dining room table chair for years. He'll never appreciate it because he never said thank you to Hashem for the chair. So therefore, what do we see? We see that if you don't pay attention to it, it will go unnoticed. Most people kill their happiness because they compare. I heard somebody saying, compare is despair. When you compare, it leads to despair. Why? Because you can have all the blessings, all the good. You compare yourself to the next guy, he has a little bit more. Everything I have is not valid. And therefore, only when I have what he has, it's good. So it comes out, you can have good things and they'll go unnoticed based on what you put your mind to. So therefore, when you praise every single good thing you have, you constantly remind yourself, reinforcing yourself, no, I do have good, I have this, and I also have that, and I also have this. And that way you let those things constantly be alive in your mind and give yourself happiness from them, as opposed to, God forbid, forgetting them. He says, and also we have to praise Hashem for what? That Hashem made us a Jew. Hashem gave us mitzvot. Hashem gave us olam haba. Hashem is our God. He says, however, you have to make sure not to praise Reshaim. A person has to not speak always about evil people, or, oh, you heard about what so-and-so did, you heard about... Don't be accustomed to speak about it, and, God forbid, even worse, to praise them. A person has to know that the way you talk shows who you are, right? There was a famous mashal with the fox, where he pretended to be a lion. He was tired of being a fox, so he found a dead lion, he took off the skin, and he put it on his body, and he was walking around as if he was a lion. And he says, Kaif life, he gets kavod, everybody tells him, oh, shmo, nachzeh, and they treat him like respect, as opposed to being the fox that he used to hide and everybody hated. So then finally, one day, a pack of lamb, right? There was a lamb walking around, and then there was lions coming from a different place, and they were going to eat these little lambs. So what happened? So the lambs, they were scared, they were nervous, and they told to the fox who was dressed up as a lion, Davai, this is your avlot. Go speak to them. Go tell them not to eat us. Please have mercy on us, Mr. Lion. And they're talking to the fox. So the fox stands in front of the lamb to protect them, and the lions are looking at him saying, hey, what's going on? Are you with us or you're not? Or let us eat the lamb. So they're waiting for him to give a response till finally he spoke, and they realized when he talked, he was a fox, he wasn't a lion, it was all a show. So you realize what? A person can dress himself up and look like a lion, but when do you see who he really is? When he opens his mouth, when he talks. You see how he talks? You see who he really is. So he says, the person has to know, you have to watch what you praise and what you speak about. Shabbat table, people sit. What do you speak at the Shabbat table? What do you speak about with your buddies? What do your kids listen to you talk about all day on the Shabbat table? They want to know, what does Abba give praise to? What does Abba hold a high value of? Is he talking about who bought the house 2 blocks over? Does he talk about how much money and how much this guy went to vacation, how much this guy paid for his car, and how much... Oh, do we talk about these things in the Shabbat table when we teach our kids this is what's valuable, this is what's important? And then the kids, 12 years old, asking people in shul, what car do you drive? Oh, this is this amount of money. Oh, he's counting people's pockets. This is because this is how he was raised. This is what he heard. Based on what you talk about, it makes you and shows the person you are. So therefore he says, the person has to make sure to talk about and praise good things, and talk about important things and praise important things, because if not, you will come to the point where you will show who you really are and falling talking about nonsense all the time. So he says also, King Solomon writes, then how do you know a person who he really is? He says you have to see what he praises. So therefore he says that a person who praises good things, you see is a spiritual person, but a person who praises physical things, you see is a Gashmi person. He says the famim ra'ui le'alo b'fanav al-ma'asav. And a lot of times the person has to learn to give compliments to people. He has to praise people also. Someone does a mitzvah, tell him Chazak Baruch, you read the Torah beautifully, you did the Chazanut beautifully, Chazak Baruch, give tzedakah, Chazak Baruch, you did this, Chazak Baruch, give them chizuk. Because a lot of times when we're little, the thing that a lot of kids look for is for their parents to give them a compliment. It gives them the biggest chizuk in the world. A lot of times people who are businessmen, who are billionaires, they said that they would pay all the money in the world to hear their parents tell them again, I'm proud of you. they will pay all the money in the world. Because today, people are very sensitive, and when you give them a good word, you build them, and God forbid, if you give them a bad word, you break them. So therefore, we should also to give praise to Hashem and to others. Baruch Adonai Olam.